Good savers seldom make good spenders in retirement. It's about mindset. Doing the right thing in your working years, accumulating assets, is a total 180 in your decumulation years. Investment firms profit from your fear of running out of money. The longer they keep you saving, the more they earn. They feed off your fear of retiring and keep you focused on one question: how much more? Do I need to retire? But the question nobody asks is this: what is the real cost of retiring later? If you find topics like this helpful, take a moment to like and subscribe for future content. Your support is very much appreciated. Michael Kitces looked at the 4% rule in his 2015 paper and found that by the end of a 30-year retirement horizon, over 2/3 of retirees would finish with more than double their starting wealth on top of a lifetime of spending. Worse still, half the time wealth was nearly tripled as retirees simply failed to spend their upside. Morningstar, amongst others, consider underspending a larger problem than overspending. That sounds obscene, but this is the basis for Kitces introducing his ratcheting rule, which I cover in another video. The reality is, retirees using the 4% rule will very likely leave a massive terminal wealth. But here's the thing: the assumption that retirees spend a fixed amount every year, adjusted for inflation, simply isn't true. David Blanchett introduced the retirement spending smile in 2014, which describes a U-shaped pattern in retirement spending. The highest spending tends to be in the go-go years, reducing in the slow-go years, and rising again in the no-go years due to health spending. The study Blanchett co-authored with Finke in 2025 looks at how much retirees actually draw from their income versus their savings. The title kind of gives away their findings. Retirees spend lifetime, income, not savings. This study draws on data from the Health and Retirement Study, a longitudinal household survey conducted by the Institute for Social Research at the University of Michigan since 1992. Before going into the details, I'll translate the US terminology into the UK context, so my apologies to US viewers. Social Security is the UK state pension, and 401k are workplace pensions. Blanchett and Finke found that retirees spend 80 to 85% of their income. This includes lifetime income such as annuities and the state pension, as well as wage and capital income. So retirees are pretty comfortable spending income. No problem there. The issue is with how much retirees spend from their retirement savings, things like workplace pensions, tax-advantaged accounts, and general investment accounts. They draw barely 2% from their retirement savings. Remember the Kitces analysis we looked at earlier? Over 2/3 finishing with more than double their starting wealth, and half the time that wealth nearly tripling. That was at 4%. Blanchett and Finke found that retirees are actually drawing only 2%. As Blanchett noted, unless people purposefully want to leave behind a large bequest when they die, many retirees are denying themselves the opportunity to enjoy life by spending more of their savings. Here's my takeaway from the Blanchett and Finke study. Retirees will readily spend from renewable income sources, but they are highly reluctant to spend from non-renewable wealth. This is the core trap, treating retirement like accumulation 2.0, except it isn't. Instead of waiting for a polite permission to spend, we need to reframe this entirely as an imperative to spend. We need a fundamental shift away from passively knowing what we can afford and toward actively and intentionally spending what we have spent a lifetime building. Because spending in retirement, just like the decision to retire, is not a mathematical equation, it's an emotional one.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
So it's not surprising that many people approaching their target retirement date get cold feet and get sucked into the endless one more year syndrome. Or even the one more bonus syndrome, the feeling that you've slogged hard through the year and don't want to miss out on the reward. And before you know it, this becomes yet another one more year. For those who have done the numbers and know they have enough, working that one more year is a bad trade, since most retirees in that position don't actually spend those additional savings anyway. So you've traded time for more money that you don't need and will never spend. And it gets worse. The latest healthy life expectancy data from the ONS is potentially an even greater concern. This is the average number of years a person can expect to live in good general health. In the UK, that figure is now just 61, and it's been falling. Big picture, compared to other high-income countries, the UK ranks 20th out of 21 for healthy life expectancy, just ahead of the US. And that ranking, too, has been declining for a decade. Since total life expectancy is still expected to rise, people working into their late 50s and 60s will spend longer periods of their retirement in, at best, fair health and mostly poor health. Those who start receiving their state pension at 66 will already have spent 5 years on the wrong side of that line. People are living longer, but their healthy years are running out sooner. For those caught in the one more year cycle, you're not just trading time, you're trading your healthy years for money. Time in your go-go years that you could have spent with your spouse and family. Time you will never get back. For money you will never spend. That is the real cost of retiring later than you need to. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. And if you found this useful, hitting like and subscribing will help more people find it. Drop any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.